Hi everybody, welcome to Fresh Food for Kids. Today we are making mini caprese salad. And I call it mini because the traditional caprese salad uses full-size tomato and a round mozzarella ball like this that you slice into slices. But our mini version uses little mozzarella balls, and they're called pearls, and you can see the little balls in the package. And since I had a garden for the first time at our house, we've only been here a couple years, I got to have a garden for the first time, and we planted a bunch of cherry tomatoes. And so the main two ingredients in caprese are mozzarella and tomato. The third very important ingredient I am also growing in my garden is basil. If you can buy your cherry tomatoes and your basil at the grocery store, you can grow them. They are both probably two of the easiest things to grow. Or you could visit Sycamore Farmers Market, which is downtown on 400 West State Street on Tuesdays from 3 to 7, and a lot of our local farmers come and you can buy fresh produce and herbs and all kinds of yummy things. And if you live in DeKalb's Farmers Market is on 148th North 2nd Street, and that's on Thursdays from 10 to 2. You can also visit a lot of our local farmers directly because they have farm stands, and so that's always a fun way to support a local business and to get lots of yummy and healthy food. So for our mini caprese salad, you will need, as I said, the mozzarella balls, the cherry tomatoes, fresh basil, and then a traditional caprese salad uses salt and pepper and then extra virgin olive oil. But we are gonna talk about jazzing it up a little for fun, making a special dressing, and so I'm also including balsamic vinegar, and you can even add a little Dijon mustard to your dressing, or you could add a little honey to your dressing. So the first step is always to make sure you have very clean hands. I washed my hands right before we started today, so you definitely should do that too. You want to make sure you wash your basil. I had just watered the garden this morning, so I thought my basil was going to be all clean, and lo and behold, two, not one, but two bugs on my basil, so I'm very glad that I washed it. Wash your basil, wash your cherry tomatoes, and we'll need a cutting board. We'll need a bowl for our caprese salad. We'll need a little bowl to work on some dressing. We'll need a cutting board, and you'll need a chef's knife or a paring knife for cutting up the basil. And I love to use a serrated blade for cutting tomatoes. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm using about 1 package of mozzarella balls and about a pint of cherry tomatoes. That's that little square container that you see cherry tomatoes come in. And I am just going to cut these tomatoes in half. Here we go. So remember, when you're cutting, you can keep your point down, keep your fingers curled, and slice. I have 2 different kinds. The red and green ones are a little bigger, so I am going to slice those into fourths. So you're going to do lots of cutting right now, halves and fourths depending. If you were using a big tomato, you would just be doing nice slices, ideally all about the same size. All right, I can finish cutting the rest of mine later, but that way you could see that all done. And then we're going to put it into our bowl. If you wanted to, you could cut your little pearls in half too, just for fun, or to make it maybe you would like the way it looks better. It's really up to you because you're the chef. So I'm going to put about as many in as I cut up tomatoes so far, just to keep it even. You can see they're kind of stuck together, and you just separate them out, the little pearls. They're really yummy. Feel free to try one. I have tried my cherry tomatoes, but remember to give your ingredients a taste before you put them in. Remember my story about my yucky walnuts on my cookies. That was a sad day for Miss Laura. All right, that's about half and half. And the next thing that goes in, it's very important, is the basil. And basil is a fun thing to chop. I'm going to give this just a little stir and let you take a peek. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, and it's yummy. All right. So basil is really interesting to cut up. You're going to take your basil leaves and you're going to place them on top of each other. Do you see I'm kind of making like a basil sandwich? That's probably enough. And then you're going to roll it like that. Hold your knife, remember, tip down, fingers curled, and you're gonna just slice along like this. Because we rolled it, it's gonna make little ribbons of basil. Can you see? Shreds of basil like that. Isn't that a fun trick? All right, I love lots of basil in my caprese, so I'm gonna do another batch. Again, we make a little basil sandwich like this, and we're gonna roll, 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 nice and tight, and then tip down, fingers curled, and there we have it, our little shreds of basil. Okay. We add it, and now we are going to make some dressing. A traditional caprese salad is just salt and pepper, since you or might not be sure how much salt and pepper you like, you might put a little dusting on the top, mix it up, and then taste one. That is the best way to find out how much salt and pepper you like. Remember, you can always add, but you can't take away. All right. So we've added our salt and pepper. Yum. Now, as I was saying, a traditional caprese salad, you would just drizzle on some olive oil and that would be it. So if you're using full-size tomato and mozzarella, you would alternate the slices and put your basil in there, mixed in. You would salt and pepper, and then you would drizzle, maybe put a little bit in a spoon. I can even show you if you like. You would take a little olive oil, extra virgin olive oil when you're using it for salad dressings, and you would just very lightly, so that's a drizzle, pour it over. I'm going to have to remember that I've got 1 spoon of olive oil in there already. So I like to add balsamic and even some other things in there. I like that tang to my little mini caprese salad. So when you're making a salad dressing, you always want 3 parts olive oil to 1 part tartness, whichever you use. You can use lemon juice, you can use lime juice, you can use balsamic vinegar. So we already have 1 spoon. I was going to show you using a tablespoon, but since I used this spoon already, I'm just going to keep using it. So we're going to take, that was 1 spoon of olive oil. So then I'm going to take 2, 3, and then I'm just going to do 1. Now, I made it sound like it was a total rule and you had to follow it. It's not really that way. There are some people who prefer more of a half and half. So what I would say, we're going to do 1 of balsamic. This is a very dark vinegar. It's like a dark red. It's really pretty. You can take it and put it on the stove and heat it up and make a thicker balsamic, and that's called a balsamic glaze. And you can buy that at the store. You can turn it into like a syrup. It's very delicious on caprese salad. But today we're just doing a traditional dressing. Now, to your balsamic and your olive oil, you could add a little bit of Dijon mustard. I don't want to put my vinegary spoon in there. I am almost out of Dijon mustard. I'm going to add just a very little bit. And you could even add a little bit of honey if you wanted to, if you like things a little sweeter. And so then you're going to mix it all together. What you can do is use a whisk. Whisks are great for this kind of mixing. Now, I didn't do my whole pint of tomatoes in my whole package, so I only made like a teeny bit of dressing. But a nice way to measure might be using a 1/4 cup. So you could use a 1/4 cup of balsamic to 3/4 cups of olive oil. And then I would recommend that you taste it. Stick your finger in there. It's clean. But don't stick it back in after you taste it. I think mine needs a little more balsamic. So that's how you do it. You can use this on salad too. You could add a little bit of crushed garlic to it. You can add all kinds of things to make it the way you like it. And then we are going to add it to our salad. You can start with a little because you can always add more, but you can't take it back. So go ahead and mix that up. I have a little ant that wants to come have a taste. That's part of cooking outside, I'm afraid. All right, I can't wait for you to see it. It's all, oh, look, Mr. Ant, you go away. All right, there it is. Now, something really yummy, you can make pasta and add this to your cooked pasta. I like to use a farfalle. That's a bow tie pasta. And I add this to it. And you can even grate a little parm on the top. It's awesome. So I hope you had fun making mini caprese salad with me. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for joining me for Fresh Food for Kids. Have fun cooking, everybody.